Hey there, my friend, Mike Macniak here. I just want to send you a quick note to thank you so very much for registering to be part of the webinar that we had the other night. And if you were unable to attend, we have a replay available for you, so check your email for that. For those of you who did attend, I just want to give you a quick recap of the program that we are talking about in the Family Empowerment Now Take Back Your Life Intensive. And I want to just highlight what we're going to do because, life can get really crazy and complicated when we're facing an illness, particularly when a loved one is diagnosed with mental illness and undergoing all the ups and downs that come along with that. But for those of you who are in the position of taking care of that loved one, or for those of you who are in a position of being the support and the rock for that loved one, it could be difficult and you could feel powerless. But I'm here to tell you that you have it within you. In this program, our Family Empowerment Now Take Back Your Life Intensive is designed to help you to tap into all the various strengths that you have and to really become everything that you know you can be and empower you to become the person that you can be for yourself and the person that you could be for your loved one that does have an experience with mental illness. So the very first thing that we will do in this course is I want to get together with you one-to-one just like this, and we're going to have a strategy session where we're going to talk about the needs of your particular case, your particular family, and what we're going to do in terms of the long-term, some legal things, some social work things, but also some, just very basic life things that need to be put into place over the long haul for you, your loved one, and your family. And make no mistake about it, this stuff, this work, and it is work, requires a bit of courage, right? It requires you to really tap into your strengths, your courage, and gain confidence. So the very first week that we get together as a group, so this would be week 2, we're going to talk about courage and where it comes from and how we see ourselves as a courageous person, or maybe we don't see ourselves as courageous people, and that's why this is so daunting and overwhelming for us. And what that takes is, okay, so once we establish a baseline of courage and a degree of confidence, I really want to get introspective and dive deep into our core and talk about the principles and the concepts of what makes us tick, what makes us value the things and who we are and what we are as a family. In the following week, week 4, we're going to start to say, okay, now that we've tapped into those things, we got a little courage behind us, we've tapped into those things, we've done that introspection, we're going to start to play that role. We're going to start walking that walk. I really firmly believe that when we change the way that we feel about ourselves, we change the way that we act, and when we change the way that we act, we absolutely change the way that others perceive us. And that's important. So we're going to talk a lot about that. And then along those lines, the following week, we're going to talk about influence and persuasion. Now, this isn't influence and persuasion to try to trick people. This is not some kind of a cult leader trying to bring people in. This is getting back to that congruence idea, living in congruence with who you are deeply in your core, and also tapping into the idea that I just spoke about, where we're inspiring others by our action, by our strengths, and by the strength of our convictions, which naturally attracts others to us, allows us to become a better leader, and frankly allows us to become part of a team and have that team appreciate our perspective and follow our lead to a degree. Week 6, we're going to get into sort of what I call mental wealth. Now, this is talking about energy, and I'm not going to get into a whole thing about how you should exercise, how you should go for a walk, how you should stretch every day. That's not my gig. There's plenty of people out there that could talk to you about that. But what I want to talk to you about is more about your effectiveness. So utilizing the tools that we've built upon to this point, how do we become more effective? And how do we become more, I guess, impactful is the word, in the global community that we find ourselves in with that team that I just described? So it really comes down to, I call it energy. But really what I'm talking about is how we become more effective on a day-to-day basis. Week 7, I really want to talk to you about one of my core principles, which is we absolutely have to be proactive. We have to get out in front of any kind of crisis before it hits in order for us to have a real good response to that particular issue, right? One of the commissioners of the Department of Mental Health once told me, you know, when we are in a situation where we respond to acute moments of crisis, it's our most ineffective and inefficient use of resources. Well, we're going to talk about our productivity and how we can maintain this high level of effectiveness and efficiency every single day. What kind of habits do we need to make sure that we're instilling in ourselves? And these habits can be learned, make no mistake. Finally, to wrap up the whole course, I want to meet with you again one-to-one, just like this. I want to review what we talked about in our very first meeting and see how we did with that across the course of the 6 weeks in between, and see where we're at, what needs to be tweaked in that strategic plan so that you could take that plan and move it forward forever, have it, and keep moving it, tweaking it, and we can revisit it as we move together and continue to work together in the future. I'm so happy that you're part of this community. Thanks again for your interest in the work that I'm doing. Thank you for inviting me to be part of your journey, and thanks especially for the work that you do for other people. I really look forward to seeing you in the program.